Hello everyone, Gentleman here, and for today I wanted to talk about some of the most amazing free sets of gear that I've seen, which just got announced and will be coming into the game. These sets will come in various activities after maintenance on Thursday and some others until Monday. But I wanted to bring this out to your attention because you should absolutely make sure to pick this up, as gear like this doesn't just come by very often. So guys, if you enjoyed this video and or if you find it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It truly helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. But okay, let's check these sets of gear out. Starting with a brand new destruction set of gear that will be added once the new Insight season for Arena begins. I'm not 100% sure if this will become available right after maintenance or until Monday, since that's when the new Arena season actually begins. But yeah, if you don't see this on the Conquest Point shop after maintenance, just check back in the shop on Monday and this set should be there. But as we can see right here on the left side gear, of course on the substats we have speed, and speed. So absolutely amazing. You love to see 5 speed as a base stat. And of course, we also get critical hit damage on all 3 pieces of gear, which of course we're dealing with destruction set, with of course increases your critical hit damage by 60%. So more of that is always great. And of course, you also get some nice little bulk stats on all 3 pieces of gear, such as health, and defense, and some more attack percentages on your sword and helmet. So amazing, well-rounded, exactly what you need on any type of character that will most likely be rocking this set of gear. And for the right side gear, you know, it doesn't get left behind all that much. You also have speed, and speed substat. The boots, you know, some people might debate on them, but you do have speed substat on all 3 pieces of right side gear. On top of that, you also get a critical hit chance, and critical hit chance on all of them, which of course adds up a lot to that critical hit damage that we saw on all the left side. And of course on the right side, you're not missing out on any more critical hit damage either, because the neck piece is rocking a main stat of critical hit damage. The ring, not only an attack percentage main stat, but also critical hit damage on the substat. And of course on your boots, you're also getting more of that critical hit damage. You're not missing out on any bulk either, because every piece as well has either defense percentages or health percentages. So overall, I think this is probably the ideal set of gear that I would personally want. I know some people might probably switch these boots for speed main stat boots, but to me, if a character that's rocking this is just there to blow everything up, I don't think it matters if they're like necessarily too slow, just because of course with enough tank they should be able to at least survive 1 turn, and whenever they get the turn, they will of course make their presence be very well known. And of course you're getting 6 pieces, right? All 3 on top, right side, and all 3 left side. So you can always change 2 pieces for whichever other 2-piece set you want and call it a day. The next sets will be Lifesteal and Immunity, which will be obtainable in Ancient Inheritance, which will begin on Monday, August 21st. Now, Ancient Inheritance will be playable for a week once it begins, but after that, the activity closes, but the shop will remain open for an extra week in case you have points but haven't spent them yet. So make sure to participate in this activity with your guild and or join one guild before it begins so you can actually participate. You do not want to miss out on these sets of gear. Of course, we can see right here on the left side gear is all lifesteal, and of course on the substats you do have speed substats on all 3 of them, which is great, and some more offensive stats such as attack percentages, crit hit chance percentages, and critical hit damage. The only thing I would probably change on these 3 pieces of gear will probably be the health percentage on the chest piece, just because whenever you're dealing with these lifesteal characters, you don't really need that much health, because as long as you can be very tanky with nice defensive stats, you can pretty much just heal back to full with enough damage. But of course, it doesn't hurt at all to have a decent amount of health on your character so that you can actually, survive those hits to begin with. So in my opinion, very well-rounded, 3 pieces of lifesteal gear. Moving on to the right side gear, here we can see we have 2 immunity set pieces of gear, one being the ring with a health main stat, and the neck piece being critical hit damage main stat. Now, a little weird, right? They're kind of polar opposites of each other, but the great thing about immunity is that, in my opinion, is one of the most universal sets of gear. They can just go about on any character. Doesn't matter if they're a soul weaver or a warrior, you can stick it on them and they will do just fine. Now, starting off with the ring, really good substats in my opinion. Speed, of course, we'd love to see that. Just a little weird having that critical hit chance because it is of course a health main stat piece of gear, but if it's not this, what do you get, right? Either flat stats or you get effectiveness or effect resistance. So I don't know, maybe critical hit chance is fine, right? You can just slap this on a bruiser character and call it a day. But yeah, my opinion, really good, well-rounded substats. And on the neck piece, we are seeing more of a offensive side of things, right, with critical hit damage main stat, and thankfully we do have attack percentage and critical hit chance as well on substats, not to mention speed, which is great, and defense percentage for some extra bulk, which is amazing, right? So very well-rounded immunity pieces of gear. And lastly, we do have the boots, which is lifesteal with speed main stat. So already amazing, in my opinion. Lifesteal speed main stat boots are great. Of course, I wish we did see a little bit more offensive substats. Out of all the substats, I wish maybe we got rid of health and put critical hit damage, since we do see the attack and critical hit chance. But nevertheless, more bulk is always great. You can never go wrong with that. So, I'm not gonna split hairs over something like that. So yeah, in my opinion, really well-rounded sets that can work on just about any character. And lastly, I thought it was worth mentioning these final pieces of immunity and critical hit chance gear, which can be found in the ReZero side story event. Just farm the stages and use your points to buy these pieces of gear. I know these aren't as spicy as the other gear we just took a look at, but honestly, getting any epic piece of gear with these substats, even if it's only on a level 78 gear piece, is still better than most other level 85 legendary gear. And I assure you, these pieces help so much to complete sets on your characters and gear other units that you might just need for some PvE content, which don't require to have the most demanding or min-max quality gear. Out of all these 3, in my opinion, probably the best ones will be, of course, the helmet and the neck piece. Not that the ring is bad by any means, but looking at the substats, just seeing effectiveness kind of hurts a little bit. I wish this was, of course, speed, but I want to start off by prefacing that if you don't see speed on a piece of gear, that doesn't mean it's immediately bad, okay? I don't want to create that little image, but of course, we're dealing with just a lot of attack substats and, of course, critical hit chance set piece of gear and attack percentage main stat. So you want just a little bit more offensive or aggressive, or maybe even more tanky. So rather than effectiveness, defense percentages or speed would have probably been the way to go, but not terrible, okay? So still a decent ring. Now looking at the helmet, we do see speed percentage, substat, which is great, and some more offensive, type stats with attack and critical hit chance, and some nice bulk. So really good helmet, in my opinion. Very well-rounded, more inclined to the offensive side, but if you get really nice health and speed rolls, you can still put this on just about any character you want. And moving on to the neck piece, of course, critical hit chance set of gear with critical hit damage is already a really good piece. Now taking a look at the substats, we also see speed, which is amazing, and 2 more damage substat, which is critical hit chance and attack percentages. So really, really good. And just some defense, not crazy, not great, but also not bad at all, because having bulk is always a great thing. overall, simple pieces of gear, but still with a lot of potential to just help carry your account and or gear other units. But that's going to be it, guys. Just wanted to bring these pieces of gear out to your attention because trust me, having this type of gear in your account will do wonders for your progress, whether you are a newer player or even a veteran player. So don't miss out and secure these items. Thank you all so much for watching. Consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next one. Laters.